And I am Marty McFly. What it do, what it is.
What it do, what it is.
Yeah, I'm
What
just
it
making
is, what
up
it
some
do.
stuff. Yeah. What's going on with you? How was your week, Miss Donnie?
Man, my week was awesome. It was. I got a chance to spend some time with the kids, and I actually took some time to take them to the park and call myself gonna climb Stone Mountain.
Are you serious?
Not a good thing to do.
Okay, how far did you get? How did you get?
No, I made it to the top, but let's just say I was huffing and puffing, and my kids were way ahead of me.
I can believe that.
Making fun of me. But, it's just still trying to work on that fitness thing. What about you, man?
You know what? I am still doing like this little rehab thing.
Okay.
I'm trying to get better because I
Be
realized.
specific, because when you say
okay,
rehab.
no. I caught an infection from an old lady.
Okay.
Because I knew you could get like bugs and stuff like that and
Yeah.
ticks from old people.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was true, but I was helping this old lady at my church, and I got like
Yeah.
a staph infection in my leg.
Ooh.
So ever since then, I had surgery on my leg, and so each weekend I'm out walking and trying to get better.
Right
And
on.
so that's all I did this weekend. Just thought
Well, you could have walked with us
exercise.
up Stone Mountain, man.
Hell no. That's too much. Just take a picture and tell me about it. I ain't doing that.
I ain't mad at you. But you know what? I'm excited about our show today.
You got a guest in
because
here.
I do have a guest in here. And not only, he's not just anybody. I know you guys have talked about me being, entrepreneur
A
and loving,
Republican.
connecting with people. I am not. I'm going to hurt you.
we have talked
you know
about
what?
that, though.
I am not a Republican. I told
Okay.
you I'm independent. But anywho,
Okay.
there's a gentleman, and there are some people that you come across in your life that make a difference,
Mm-hmm.
that touched you in such a way to where you felt like you could go another day. You
Yeah.
know, and this is one of those gentlemen for me. I, as you guys know, I came from the network marketing industry. And we came up in the network marketing industry together, except for he was very successful at it, and I was mediocre at it.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
And this man would come into town, and it's like when he walked into a room, he just lit up a room. And he was changing people's lives on a daily basis. And so in my mind, I was one of those people kind of sitting in the audience going, man, if I could just, I wouldn't say touch the hem of a garden, because that would
Yeah.
be too much. But I just felt like if I could get a few minutes with this gentleman, I could have a little bit of what he has.
Okay.
Whether it's inspiring people, becoming successful, and becoming the woman that I wanted to be. And I ran into him in the hall, and he said a few words to me. And from that day on, in my mind, I felt like I had what it took to become successful.
What did he say to you? I need to write that down. What did he say?
Don't worry about it.
Because that's a real player move there. I just had to say one sentence to you, and you've been following me ever since. Man. All right, introduce
The man
him.
is married, okay?
That's even tighter.
No, it's awesome. He's
That's
awesome.
even tighter.
But no, he's an amazing man. He's a businessman. He's an entrepreneur. He's an inspiration.
Okay.
But he also does some other things out there in the business world for other people. And I'm talking about a gentleman by the name of Mr. Ron Lewis.
All right. Woo, woo, woo. We need sound effects. Ron.
Yeah, give me some sound effects in there, right?
Hey, thanks for having me. Thanks for having me, Donnie and Marty.
That's what's
Yeah.
up. That's
Well,
what's up. So
we're-
now, how much of this is true? And what sentence did you give her or phrase that you tell her that had her just nose wide open for you for the next couple of years?
20-something years, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, I think she's giving me a little more credit than what I deserve. I remember Donnie from back then just being one of the most passionate people that I'd ever seen, not just in the network marketing business, but she was just super, super passionate, and you knew she was going to be successful at something.
Right.
Even though she was doing well at that company, not doing as well as I know she wanted to do.
Not
or
doing
what-
as well as you was doing.
But I knew she was going to be successful, and it's funny because we both ended up getting out of the network marketing
That's right.
industry and going in different directions. I spent over 10 years in the mortgage business, and I heard from a friend that Donnie had started her own tree business, and he had so many positive things to say about what she was doing. And I remember seeing a billboard going, wow, look at what girl she's doing. I knew she was going to do something big, and she is, and still doing it right now.
That's what's up.
See, that's the kind of stuff he do. You ask him about him, and then he'll tell you about you.
Well,
See what I'm saying? He's so good at that. But no, Ron, I tell you what, when we kind of reconnected via social media, I had been hearing about you too, and how you had become this. You were already successful, became like uber successful in the real estate industry, and I just wanted to kind of reconnect you because while I was building my business, I would also fall back on some of the lessons that you taught me while we were in network marketing. And I think the biggest thing that has made my company successful is that I remember you saw that I was passionate, but I was also kind of trying to be like other people.
Right.
You know, I
remember
was
that.
trying. I was like, man, if I could get up on the stage and be like Lori, if I could be like this person, or if I could talk like that person, and you pulled me aside one day because I came to your trainings. You was like, dude, you're coming off as fake. It's too much. It's just too much. And you said, do you be the best you can be, and then you'll get results. And I started to do that, and that's when I got results. And the same thing happened in the tree care industry.
Right.
You know, what is it about inspiring people that keeps you going? Because you still do it to this day, even though you're not on that platform.
Just being real, just being myself. I think God gave me a couple gifts. The gift of intuition, and for some reason, not even trying, I'm always watching people, watching every move. Like I have no sense of direction. I get lost everywhere I go.
Right.
But when it comes to watching people, it's something that I've done my entire life effortlessly.
Right.
Are you a stalker or something?
No, I'm not necessarily.
Hurt you, Lori.
I'm saying people don't just come out. I just like to watch people.
No,
that's
I'm
all
just
I
saying-
do. I just I just get focused on watching people.
No, if I walk into a room, there's things that I pick up on that a person may not pick up on the first time. You know, like I picked up on your haircut. I picked up on your mustache. You know, I picked up on your speaking voice. You know, it's just
Okay, yeah.
You're a charismatic guy. I mean, I don't know if you're married or not, but I can tell you're the guy at happy hour talking to the ladies and having some success. You know, it's just something.
No. You almost had it there. The success part, no.
You have success with a dude.
Wait a minute,
Literally,
no.
every time we have a woman come in this studio,
They leave the studio.
They leave the studio, but this is how it flies. Listen, you know what? I might want to go over the video with you, and there's some content.
Yeah,
I want to make sure we have all your
I gotta have
information.
some kind of-
What's your number again?
some kind
I'm
of
like,
hook.
really,
Yeah,
dude?
I was right on. He denied. I knew I was right on.
No, last one I just left out of here, you didn't see me with her number.
Well, that was,
Told
dude,
your old lady to give me worms anyway.
Matt-
But, sorry.
Marty. I'm gonna hurt you.
Keep
But
talking.
you see
I'm
what
sorry.
I mean?
No.
But look what he did. He finds the best in people. And I think that is a gift of yours, you know. Whenever people are going through challenges, which is why I wanted you to come on the show, what have you seen is the one thing that they can do to overcome them? Because you've overcome challenges in your life.
I identified, be honest about what we're going through. Like you said, I've had some challenges in my life, and the last couple of years have probably been the most challenging that I've ever gone through. And the one thing I can say is a constant that I've done that's allowed me to overcome those challenges is set small goals.
Okay.
For an example, one of the biggest things that I've gone through in the last couple of years was something that, things didn't go my way with some legal things that went on. I won't get into the details right now. And
That'll be in your book, right?
Yeah, that'll be in my book. It was, for me, it was the furthest that I could be from where I thought I should be. I grew up in Miami, Florida, Dade County, Carroll City through and through. There was a lot of bad element. There's a big bad element of things I could have gotten into. I chose not to. My deal was I'm a jock. I play sports. I play football. I wanted to be in the NFL. That didn't work out. I ended up in the military. And I found I had a knack for sales. I had a gift to go out and communicate with people, influence people, earn money, and do well. But some things didn't go my way, and I ended up having some issues.
Right.
And so I heard somebody say something, said depression happens is when we get the opposite of where we thought we should be. And it hit me hard. And it's hard to get me down because I'm a pretty optimistic dude.
You've always been optimistic, yeah.
I can typically find the silver lining. And I'm like, oh my God, how can I find the silver lining in this? And I remember after I got over my little, feeling sorry for myself, being down, I set these smallest goals. I'm talking daily goals. Just get me through the day.
Right.
Okay, now get through the let me do this. Let me accomplish this, and I started working out. I started reading books. I started studying stuff, and I started setting incremental goals, okay? With this time on my hands, let me learn Spanish. Let me learn another language. I started getting more into fitness, but without those small goals, I would have driven myself crazy because my mind would have never stopped going because, when you look down the road, and I know you know this as a successful businesswoman, I know you aspire to have, a $1 billion company at one point, but if you
100
didn't
million.
look,
Billion
100
wouldn't be
billion.
awesome, but 100 million, I'm good.
But I know there's daily goals you haven't.
Yes.
I've even written with you where you had, here's what I accomplished today. Here's what I was going to accomplish. Without those goals, it's easy for us to get off track. And thank God I had that lesson from a mentor of mine of how to stay on track when things don't necessarily go your way. But I don't know if I answered the question. Did I answer the question, Marty?
I guess
Dude,
so.
you more than answered the
you more than answered the question. Yeah,
All right, just making sure.
This would be the reason why this man is.
yeah. I can see where you in sales. I can,
Yeah.
On a point, but no,
No, but it's not just about being in sales. The thing is, this guy takes things that have happened in his life and the experience, and he motivates others to take their life to the next level. And the thing I love about what you're doing now is that you're not even trying. It's just your day-to-day, going about your day, doing what you do, and it's inspiring to people. And that's even how you were back in network marketing. And I want to talk a little bit about that when we come back for our break.
Okay.
If people do want to hit you up just to be inspired or just to chit-chat or whatever.
your brain.
Yeah, or pick your brain. How can they get in contact with you, or how do you prefer they contact you? It could be email, or it can be
I'm
Facebook, however you want to do it.
I'm on Facebook. I don't post a lot.
Okay.
I'm on Instagram. Instagram, I think, is Ron Lewis, RONLEWIS 6881. That's my Instagram. I think I have like 5 posts. Not a big poster. That's just
No, but Ron, that's once again, we do have people that come in here and they have an agenda, which is great because that's what our show is about. But to see somebody on a day-to-day basis that doesn't have an agenda,
right.
you know what I mean? You're just a guy that has overcome adversity. You're living your great life. You've got this amazing wife. You've got a daughter that just graduated Stanford, right?
Yeah.
So, and she got in there legitimately, right?
See, you're wrong for that. But you know what? We're going to take a quick break, and
Yes.
we're going to pick up on the other side of this commercial break. You're listening to Donnie Jones Live
Yeah, and I am Donnie the Tree Lady.
with Marty McFly. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Donnie Jones Live. I am Donnie the Tree Lady.
And I'm Marty McFly. Needing some coffee. I don't know.
Dude, who you telling?
It's just that time of the day. I don't know.
I'm gonna tell you what. I was trying to do it with green tea. No, I need some.
Nah, I
coffee.
need some caffeine.
I hear you. But you know what, guys? We are here with Ron Lewis. He has been one of my inspirations. And I actually just wanted to share his energy with you all because he is somebody that has made a difference in my life over the years. You had talked about how you realized you had a knack for sales and you went into sales at a young age. Can you talk, you mentioned you grew up in Miami. Can you delve a little bit into your background and how you did not wind up making some of the same mistakes that maybe some of your partners made?
Sports. Sports was the key to keeping myself as well as my core group of friends who are still friends to this day out of trouble.
Yeah.
You know, growing up in Miami, and just like any other major city, you can L.A., Chicago, New York, where you're from, Missouri. Everybody has a hood, as we would call it,
Right.
An inner city. And for me, just like a lot of folks, you had the drug dealers and you have the athletes.
Right.
Growing up in the 80s in Miami, I didn't see a lot of businessmen. I didn't
Right.
see a lot of business women like yourself. So my thing was, I didn't want to sell drugs.
Right.
Although I knew a lot of people who did, I chose playing sports.
Yeah.
That kept us and kept me busy, and occupied me. And I had a goal. I had a goal to
Right.
be a professional football player. So that's kind of how I steered away from a lot of the trouble. Just was too busy playing sports.
But then you went into sales. How did you get into network marketing?
Make a long story short, played football, got injured at a real bad time. About to graduate, didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew I didn't want to be in Miami anymore.
Absolutely.
Saw a lot of things that I just was like, I gotta go somewhere. So I joined the military. I said, I looked at the brochure and said, hey, I can go in here, figure out what I'm gonna do, get some money to go play football in college. And I got into the military, and I was as gung ho as a person can be. You know, maxing out PE tests, doing the best that I could, being the best that I could be. And after a while, I just realized, you know what? This is just not for me.
Right.
But I had no idea what I wanted to do. A guy invited me to a meeting, and it was network marketing. I looked at the concept, and I just couldn't understand why I had never heard of this before.
Right.
And I immediately just felt.
You know, I'm going to tell you the
Go
truth.
ahead.
That's one of the things that hit me about network marketing.
Right.
I was like, how could you not do this?
Right.
Now, granted, I don't do it right now, but I will say this. The lessons that I learned in network marketing still apply to me today. And even the concepts in business apply to me today.
Absolutely.
So, but go ahead and finish what you were saying.
So I saw that, and I dove in. I
Yeah.
was still in the military. I started making more money part-time doing network marketing than I was full-time in the military. And when I got out, I just went at it with everything I had. Unfortunately, a couple of companies I worked with shut down.
Yep.
A couple of things didn't go the right way. That's how I ended up in the mortgage business because I just felt like, you know what? Although I learned, just like yourself, I had some incredible mentors. Learned
Right,
every
absolutely.
business principle that's ever made me any money from network marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And I could honestly say, I've been able to earn 6 figures in 3 different careers at 3 completely different.
Did y'all hear that?
junctures.
This man that made 6 figures in 3 different careers, not 1, 3. And that's important. And that's important. And the reason why I want to point that out is because, and I think that's kind of what happened. I'd never made it to 6 figures when I was in that company, but I jumped with the knowledge that I had
Right.
from network marketing. I easily jumped into what I'm doing right now and was able to do that
Right.
really quickly. I just feel like young people look up to people like yourself that are already successful, and go, wow, how do I get there? For somebody starting out right now, what would you suggest? Because they see the Michael Jordans or they see the Denzel Washingtons or people on TV that are unattainable, but they can obtain your type of success if they put their head down and go to work. If you're a young cat out there, what would you say to somebody that is trying to carve out a niche for themselves?
Don't chase money. Find what you really love.
Ooh, that's so good.
I didn't. What I just said, I didn't do. I chased money.
Really?
Oh my God, I chased money.
Even in the network marketing company, you think you did?
I love the concept.
Yeah.
There are things that I didn't like about it.
Well,
But
it's the reason it got shut down.
right, my next career choices, it wasn't about what I love. It was more so I can make the most amount of money
Right.
doing this.
Yeah,
Because I understood at an early age when money's important.
it is. It
You know?
absolutely is.
And if I'm giving advice, find what you love to do. Find what it is that when we wake up out of the bed in the morning, it's like, oh my God, I get to go do this.
Okay.
And it's funny when we ran back into each other, that's all I saw in you.
Yeah.
You love
the tree care
Right.
industry. Love it. And I love this.
Right.
Yeah.
You told me about seeing some trees on the horizon.
Yeah.
And that's when you realize your passion. And every day when I even rode with you a little while, it didn't seem like you were working, even though you're
Yeah.
running a multi-million dollar company with, some very, very powerful people working for you. So
Mm-hmm.
you did what I'm talking about. You found what you love. Network
Right.
marketing, you were
Yeah.
good at it because you could
I like
sell.
people. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And I just remember funny you tell that story. I just remember looking at you going, gosh, she's passionate as heck. She's bulldozing people, but she's
That's what you
passionate.
Tell the truth, y'all.
But
I was running people out of there because I was like,
but to me, like you mentioned, our daughter going to Stanford. She ran track her entire since
Right.
she was 7 years old on an incredible track team called the Heat Track Team, which produced probably 30 plus Division I athletes in the last
Right.
7 years. I would go to her practices and I would love just watching the kids who put forth that effort and that
Right.
person who may not have been the most talented, but was giving you everything they
Yeah.
had. And that's what I saw in you. I'm like, once you find the right vehicle, I just knew you were going to be successful. I just didn't want you to get discouraged, or anybody
Right.
for that matter, to get discouraged because this may not be your path.
Right, right.
Don't let.
well, it's discouraging when you living in a 1-bedroom apartment with 4 people and you standing on a stage talking about how much money you making.
Right.
It's like, something's not congruent.
Right. No doubt.
No,
The years.
network marketing. No, I'm just, but no, I love the industry, and
Likewise.
I actually do encourage. And people that haven't quite found their thing yet, believe it or not, I've encouraged people to go into network marketing because if it's the right company, if it's the right company, because of the lessons that you can learn. I mean, it's almost like you get to make money and learn as long as you're selling product. Make sure you're selling a product or a service, and not just recruiting people. Because if that is the case, you're gonna wind up being shut down. But the other thing that you did was you found a niche. You found out what you were good at. Things kind of went south with that. And then you woke up and went after the mortgage industry for money.
Right.
Some stuff went down with that. How did you, after 2 different things, basically slap you in the face, where do you find the energy to get back up for a 3rd time?
Goals. I still had goals. I had to restructure the goals. I
Right.
had to reset the goals, but I still aspire to do something special with my life.
Right.
My daughter, I got to give her an example of resiliency because just like all of us know, we're not going to be successful at everything we do for the first time.
Right.
So if anybody aspiring or watching us and they see us give up or quit or not
Right.
have that fight,
Right.
we've non-verbally communicated to them.
Mm-hmm.
Why should I fight? I
Right.
watch mom give up. I watch dad give up. Or they can say, and how many of us had this story of maybe growing up in a single parent home or growing up hopefully with two parents going, you know what, I watched my mom and dad just work and their work ethic inspired me to work hard. I have a better vehicle to earn money than what they do right now. But that foundation is what motivated them. I know for my mom and my dad had great work ethic. They didn't have great vehicles to earn money, but they had great work ethic. So luckily, well, thankfully, or hopefully, I'm able to, take that work ethic and pass it on. And my daughter has a good work ethic.
Your daughter
by God, she does.
is amazing. Your daughter's absolutely amazing. Marty, you've been so quiet over there, man.
Because I'm fascinated with what this guy is saying. I'm in awe. And it would be like I want to ask this question, but you kind of get to it. But really, because one of the main things, like you asked, after I ain't gonna say the failure or the first career you get out of, the second career you got out of, I wanted to say what does keep you really pushing, and keep motivating and keep going on. I'm saying now, and I kind of hear it in your voice because you keep saying about your daughter and things of that nature.
Yeah.
But what is that real passion inside? I don't know if it's living up to a certain standard or trying to prove yourself to something to a certain standard, but what is that push that's really making you really stand out?
I heard someone say something. I was like, I've never been able to articulate that, and they said, bloom where you're planted.
That's
So if I'm working a job, say I'm in between careers or whatever, I'm working a job. I'm not working that job with an attitude. I'm not working that job going, I used to be this. I used to earn this. You know who I used to be. I used to this. It's like, no, I'm going to be the best at that job right there.
Right.
I may be making less money than what I've ever earned, but I'm going to treat that company as if I owned it. If the guy who owned it worked right beside me, that's the way I approach it, because to me, that's just showing respect.
Right.
And that, I think that was instilled in me watching my grandmother, watching my mom, and just watching people leaders that I met in different industries that treated everything with respect. And that's just something that's in me. And, don't get me wrong, it's not easy, because there's times when we look at a situation and go, God, I know I'm better than this.
Yes.
I should be doing more.
Absolutely.
But I still got to put forth my best effort right here, because this is where I am right now. And I don't believe that God's going to bless any of us if we're saying, I'm going to give this 50% of my effort.
Right.
When they're not paying me 50% of what they promised me, they're paying me 100%. So
Right.
I can give them 100%. So hopefully that answered your question, but.
Yeah. And I want to ask another one, but we're going to get to that on the other side of the break, because I want to know actually where do you see yourself for the next couple of years? What's new for you on the horizon? But if somebody wants to, like I said, pick your brain and get some information from you to say, hey, I just want to know about this. How can they get in contact with you?
The Instagram thing, I just started not too long ago. Ron Lewis, RONLEWIS 6881. I'm doing my best to be social media savvy. Yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying.
But you're honest about it.
Right.
It's not like you're flailing your arms out there going, look at me. You live your life being an inspiration. You live your life just being a great dad. You live your life being a great husband. So, of course, you may not have your landing page with all the information on it, but we'll talk about that a little bit when we get back.
Yep.
I'm Donnie the Tree Lady.
I'm Marty McFly, and we'll be right back.
Yeah. Welcome back to Donnie Jones Live. I am Donnie the Tree Lady.
And I am Marty McFly, trying to be that guy.
You are that guy.
I am.
And we are hanging out with Mr. Ron Lewis, who is an inspiration to me.
And me right now.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm learning some things, And before we went to the break, I wanted to know, Ron, what is your goals? Because it seems like you've already achieved a whole lot of things. Mm-hmm. But like in the next, say, 5 to 10 years, what are some of the goals? Where do you see yourself at?
Man, that's a great question. Obviously, I have some goals that are written down where earning money is one of them. And one of the biggest things is finding what my true passion is, finding what that is. Some people, have said coaching. Some people have said, even speaking. Or I
said those things
right.
to you.
my daughter's really been on me about it because, like I said earlier, I mean, one of the things I've done is I've chased money. I've went with this is going to make me the most amount of money. Then once I earn this money, then I go back to do what I really love.
Right.
To me, that's been a mistake.
Right.
But I've learned a lot from it, and I try to turn it into a positive. So to answer your question, I have some financial goals. I have some physical goals.
Dude, what could your physical goal be?
I was wondering that
like,
too. Like,
you already like super fit, man. This is a shame. Like literally, we run into each other periodically in the streets, but it'll be a few months apart or a year or so apart. And when I run into him, he looks better and I look fatter.
She doesn't. She's being hard on herself. She's being hard.
Donnie, you're going to have to start working out.
I am working out. I just got to stop going to eat after I work out.
And before and in between.
You need to eat, so don't even go there.
Why are we talking about me? We're talking about you right now.
You're trying to be
Donnie,
funny
don't
right
try
now.
to shift it.
I ain't shifting. I'm just saying you need to eat. Go ahead.
Let's leave it alone.
Okay, your fitness goals, sir?
We all have fitness goals. I mean, it's what we see, and I've written them down. I want to weigh this much. I want my waist to be this much. I want to, I'll be 50 next month.
He was a baby.
Yeah, so that I have spiritual goals. A lot of things we learn. Emotion. I don't want to have all the money in the world, have no friends. I don't want to have friends and not be mentally, as astute as I possibly can be. It's just trying my best to be as well rounded as I can, and ultimately being happy.
Right.
I've had money and been unhappy. I've had a bunch of friends, so I just want to put everything together. So if I'm answering your question, I just want to be well rounded. Earning the money that I feel I should earn, doing what I love to do, helping as many people as I can. And that
sounds
we
like
say a lot of
coaching
us
to me,
say that.
but, hey.
It's coaching and everything, right. And I'm curious because you say I want to be more spiritual, and what does that really mean for you?
Yeah.
Because people say that all the time. I want to be more spiritual. I want to be more connected. And they don't read, the Bible or whatever they read. They don't read it no more, or they don't get no more closer to their higher deity. And I'm just wondering for you, what is that more?
That's a great question, Marty.
Ironically enough, my wife and our daughter is our spiritual leader.
Yeah.
She's been the one where in the family where, Sunday morning I'm getting ready for the football games. I got all my stuff laid out, and she would show up as a young girl going, okay, which one of y'all is going to take me to church? Not, are you going to church with me?
Right.
Or can you? She was like, I don't care if you go or not, but somebody's taking me. And she would stand over me until one of us took her to church.
Wow.
And she's been the most consistent when it comes to, living and walking. And it's an inspiration to us because we always been, I believe in God. I don't shy away from it. I believe Jesus Christ died for our sins. But I'm not the guy in church every Sunday. I'm not. Mm-hmm. There's some things about church I like, some things that drive me crazy about church. That don't mean I'm throwing a baby out with the bathwater, but I believe in God. When I say closer to God, when I try to be Superman, when I go out and go, I want to do this, I'm going to do this, and I start chasing money, to me, that's what disconnects me from praying. That's what disconnects me from doing what I should be doing, as opposed to me saying, I'm going to make this decision. And I made a conscious decision a couple years ago to say, you know what? I'm not doing anything until I pray about it and say, hey, God, show me what you would have me do.
Right.
Not do something halfway down the road. I'm going, oh, God, can you bless this thing that I decided to do?
Can you bless my mess? Right.
So for me, it's just leading with God first and not being so anxious to go accomplish this that I'm doing things that just I shouldn't be doing. Right. So that's what I mean by just being more spiritually grounded in every move I make, from my relationships to my friendships to my business endeavors to what I want to do in the future. So hopefully that answers your question.
Well, I think it answers his question really well, but it kind of brings up in my mind about, going back to your goals. It's like, it sounds like you've got so much to accomplish, but I look at you and even, once again, I don't see you every day, but to a young person or even a middle-aged person out there that is struggling right now, they look at you and go, okay, he's already there. How do people at least get to that peace of mind where it seems like you have this calm about you? You may not be where you want to be yet spiritually, but if there's somebody out there right now sitting there going, okay, well, I got the house, I got the wife, I got the cars, my kids are in school, but I'm still unsettled. I'm still not that peace that you have. What would you say to somebody right there? Even though you're not where you want to be yet spiritually, you're doing something right. What would you say to somebody that's in that uneasy spot right now?
I hate to be redundant, but look, we need to look at our goals. The times when I'm the most uneasy is when times I don't have anything written down. And I know we can go to seminars and people say, write your goals down and look at them every day, but I've never been able to look at my goals every day. I know some people have, but once they're written down, and I don't know if you could attest to this, once they're written down, it sounds network marketing and motivational.
Cheesy
it goes
and
into the
motivationally.
subconscious mind.
Yeah.
I looked at goals years ago, and I'm like, oh my God, I forgot I even wrote that down.
Yeah.
But I was on the path to accomplishing that goal.
Yeah.
Learning Spanish. I knew I wanted to learn Spanish, never took it seriously, but I wrote it down. And now I'm probably about 50 to 60% where I can communicate.
Get out of here.
Well, absolutely. Estoy aprendiendo español todos los días.
Oh, wow.
Okay,
See?
I ain't mad at you. Y'all, I can attest to that because I sure enough knew you didn't know how to speak Spanish a couple years ago.
How long does it
That's
take you to learn?
awesome.
It's been a couple years, man, but I listen to it. I listen to at least 30 minutes to an hour every day on my
Consistency and
earbuds.
discipline.
Absolutely.
But I would assume that's the same thing with your fitness goals. You're very consistent and you're disciplined, or it looks like you're consistent and disciplined with working out also.
Yeah, you set up with that.
He just said I'm going to flex a little bit. Well, I don't do that much. Just
Well, you know. Now that you say something, you know.
You know the answer to that because, again, you're running a successful business.
Right.
Consistency.
But I get good people around me, though. I ain't gonna lie. I can be, Ron,
But you're
I'm
consistent.
gonna be real.
I watched you.
I'm consistent, but I can be lazy sometimes. I'm just be real honest. Things will go really, really good, and then all of a sudden the bottom will fall out, and I'm like, okay, dude, I need to fix this. Right. And then I get back on that wheel again and make it happen. You know, I just need to get that. I'm disciplined, but sometimes I'm not as consistent as I need to be.
I'll trade intensity for consistency.
I am intense
in any day. Like even if it comes to the gym.
Yeah.
You know, give me the person that's going to be there every day doing something. Don't give me the guy that's going to come in there, work out like a maniac, and I'm not going to see him again for 2 weeks.
Okay, gotcha.
Or that person that say I'm going to do this cardio, and they do one day of cardio, then they do another day. You know, do less, but be there 3 times, 4 times in a week and get it done. Same thing with business. Mm-hmm. You know, I can't show up and I'm selling, I'm influencing, I'm making things happen, and then I disappear for 2 weeks.
Right.
And think about, in your employees.
Yeah.
I know. I know the guys
Can't
personally. Those guys are consistent. I watch them work. They grind.
They do. And I've got an inside joke about being disappeared for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
But anyway.
I might have been sick for about 2 weeks.
But see, that's different though. If you're sick and you didn't disappear,
Yeah,
you're being hard on yourself, and you couldn't help being sick.
Yeah, my paycheck couldn't help being my paycheck was sick too. Just like,
Oh, when you don't show up for work. I'm just kidding.
I had to take 2 aspirin and get back to work. You all feel better then. Your bank account will feel better.
Everything will feel better. But no, going back to that, Ron, I keep going back to the fact that there's this balance, it seems, in your life. And I don't like to pry into people's business, but through your challenges, how did you keep your relationship so strong? Because you have a beautiful marriage. You and Marie have such a beautiful marriage, and we all go through ups and downs in our marriage. Mm-hmm. Can you speak to somebody that might be in that shifty phase right now, how to hold it together, or how you held it together with your marriage through those times?
I got to give all the credit to Marie. Well, God first, but Marie, because she's been through a lot with me and our relationship, because things haven't always been perfect.
Yeah. So they're perfect now.
I mean, relationships are challenge. It's the most challenging thing I've ever done. But I found someone that I really, really love. Yeah. Again,
and she's beautiful, y'all.
Thank God. But I haven't been perfect. But if I had to pinpoint why we've been together, I think 24 years now.
That means we met was it the year or the year before you guys got together?
I just met her when we met.
Yeah.
I just moved from Texas to Atlanta.
Killeen, Texas.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah,
yep. We're
going down to Killeen, Texas, because we have a show there also.
Okay.
So you have to come down there and check us out.
Old stomping grounds.
Yeah. So what should we eat while we down there? Or what should we stay away from?
Get you some good Korean food while you're down there.
Okay.
Get you some bulgogi, some kimchi.
Okay. Okay.
Can't go wrong with that.
I'm surprised you say Korean. There's a big Korean presence down there in Killeen.
20 years ago when I was there, I haven't been back in a long time, so I'm not sure what's going on there.
I love it. What were you getting ready to say?
No, you had. I wanted him to finish the question.
Oh yeah, finish what you were.
About my marriage.
Yeah.
She never gave up on me. I never gave up on her. Actually, being super, super, super transparent, we were separated for a while.
Right.
And people would tell me that, you know what, you still in love with your wife. And I never said no, I wasn't.
Yeah.
But
You know, I can believe that, and that happens to so many people like myself. But we ain't gonna get into my story. That's a whole different thing. But we gotta pay some bills real quick. So on the other side, we're gonna ask you a few more questions because I think we gotta get into some real nitty gritty stuff.
Not too nitty gritty. Okay. But yeah, we'll be right back, y'all. Welcome back to Donnie Jones Live.
I'm Marty McFly.
And you
just had me out there dangling.
Well, sometimes I throw it to you, and then you don't throw it back, or either you give me this look. You know?
Like, huh? Yeah, okay. But yeah, okay, so back to you, Donnie. So what's going on?
No, we're not back to me, Donnie. We're back to Ron Lewis here. You guys, we're here sitting talking to Ron Lewis, who's been an inspiration to me, and I wanted to share his energy with you guys. Before we went to the break, we were talking about, basically what it took to keep your marriage through the tough times.
Right. Finding the right person is key.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's cliche, communicating.
Yeah.
Just being honest with each other about, this is how I feel.
Yeah.
And really God blessing us because, I mean, I know you have a great marriage on yourself, so. And
I drive him crazy though.
Yeah, he does. I ain't married him, but I see it on his face. That brother be, yeah.
Right.
But just curious, you had said something earlier before the break. Do you think that you and your wife separating actually brought y'all closer together? Or, did the bond, because sometimes you don't miss something until it's gone.
Right.
But
right.
I'm just wondering, how did that have an effect on your marriage? Did it help it or?
I think it helped it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know it helped it. It helped it for me because I didn't want to go. I didn't want my daughter to be raised without me in her life. And my wife was just she was just a soldier throughout the whole thing. One thing she did that I'll always admire and respect her for, she never said anything negative about me to our daughter while we were separated.
That's good.
Never once. And that allowed me to have a relationship, which is, to me, that's been the most driving force in my life, is the relationship with my daughter.
Yeah.
She never said anything negative about me to my daughter.
That's good.
And I see friends of mine who they'll kill their spouse in their kid's mind, to where now you don't have a chance to raise your kid because they have these opinions of you or of us that. And I'm like, she didn't do that, and it allowed Amber and I to have what I think is a great relationship, and
you guys have a beautiful relationship.
That's due to Marie just being just a stand up, strong woman.
Mm-hmm.
So
just curious, what was one of the catalysts that made you two get back together? Because I'm asking this because this is so similar to my own story. Seriously, and certain things, like I agree with you. Me and my wife, we became stronger when we were separated.
Right.
And it was certain things that just evolved that made us get back together. That I'm thankful for God. Some of the things, but I'm thankful that we're together most of the time now.
Right.
But I'm wondering, what was, and if you don't want to speak about that, that's cool too. But what was some of the things that made you say, okay, let's go ahead and try this again and be a family again?
That's good.
That right there, being a family, like it's so funny. We didn't even plan on reconciling, but our daughter would have track meets every weekend. I would come back in town, like I had to drive 6 hours to get back into town, so I would come as frequently as I could, and we would go to track meets as parents, not as a couple. And we would both be supporting our daughter, and then, over a period of time, people would ask, are y'all back together? And she would be like, no. Cool, it's okay. I'm doing my
Not
thing.
just no, but hey,
right. And eventually the proximity of us being together, and if
we know what happened.
Right. The real reason is, and I'll admit. I mean, there's times when I have a big ego.
Yeah.
There's times that, I can admit when I'm wrong, but I have an ego. So does she. In order to
Right.
deal with me, we both let our ego down at the same time, and we were both vulnerable at the right moment. Even though it was scary because there was a lot of trust issues, and we know a lot of us have trust issues. I know I grew up with major trust issues, so for me to be vulnerable and her to be vulnerable at the same time is the only reason we were able to get back together.
Wow.
That's what's up.
What advice would you give to other men that are afraid to let their vulnerability show? And I asked that because I follow a gentleman by the name of Lewis House on YouTube and on online and everything. And that's one of the things that he's really big on right now is getting men to be more vulnerable so that they can have healthier relationships.
Mm-hmm. That's a tough one because, I mean, as a man, our ego is what drives us to go make money, drives us to function. So, like, I can't come out and tell a man, hey, just let your ego down. That's something that any of us have to make a decision on our own. But
Does his girlfriend or his wife have to tell him, or is it something you're shaking your head? No,
Now
what
let
do
my
you
wife
think?
tell me, let's put your ego down. What you trying to say? Those fighting words right there. Ain't like, nah.
But you had to
put yours down.
it's
Okay.
just like life. If we see someone we respect do something, it's easier to go, you know what? I watched that person who have a lot of respect do it.
Got it.
Maybe I can do it. I mean, and a bunch of cliches. You can't really love unless you trust. You can't,
Yeah.
but all that stuff don't mean nothing to a person who's been hurt, who's going, it's safer for me to be right here. Now I have my heart exposed because I can't get hurt, but we also can't love either.
Right.
So
that's so
I would-
good.
I would
That's a
almost
whole
say-
nother segment. And
Right.
the show is almost over. No,
Yeah, but I would
that's
almost
good.
say, if I find a respectable man in my life,
Right.
that's one thing that's hard. Just finding a man that's respectable that would spend the time to say, son, you might need to look at doing this a different way.
Right.
Oh yeah, definitely.
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 When they used to call him an OG in your neighborhood,
Yeah.
the one that's already been through it, that is like the retired player, the brother that's in, selling drugs. Nah, man.
Right.
Right.
You don't need to do it like that. Go
Right.
play sports, And those are the guys that can sit down and tell me, being a good husband, is more important than being a good player. And all
that's
of
so
these,
good.
all of these things, at the end of your race, you love to have pictures of a happy family than a family that you put together.
Yeah.
Right. Without a doubt.
Things of that nature that made me think, because I looked at, like he said, there's so many different cliches. They used to tell me that, a man learns from his mistakes, but a wise man learns from other people's mistakes.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah.
And I've seen a whole lot of brothers who messed up their marriage, their life, their family because they could not put their ego down or keep their pants up, and it's like they wouldn't learn until they lost everything.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, well, she was a good woman and I should have, stayed with her. I should have just showed her a little bit more love. But then it's too late.
Yeah.
So I would say right now I would look to the OGs of our communities if we can still find them, like people like you, not
that's
just
just
talking
it.
to a younger generation,
Right.
because you got millennials and the generation up under the millennials right now that are listening to you.
Right.
Because you a positive brother that's like, look, I don't been there, I don't done that. I don't made more money than I don't,
Whatever.
right. And I can tell you some good advice. So, like you talking about your public speaking maybe this year, I think you should go ahead and
I really
start
do
doing
too,
that.
Ron. And just I didn't bring you on here to corner you,
Right.
but I'm telling you, man, just you sitting here telling your story, and I know that you had talked about that. Your daughter said something about coaching and public speaking. It is you are that OG. You ain't old, but you're that next generation of guys that can make an impact on other guys and girls. I mean, like I'm a girl and you made an impact on me. Heck, that was 25 years ago.
You're a full grown woman. Now. You're a woman. I'm just
all woman. That's
right. You
true.
all woman. You ain't no
Yes.
more girl. Ain't
But
no girl,
I'm
no
a
more
little girl at heart.
Oh well.
Okay, whatever,
All
Marty.
right, if you say so, okay. It's a big heart. But I love you, Donnie.
I love you too,
And
Marty.
in fact, you know what? If you ever had a chance, you can read her book about
yes. From
fabulous,
failure to fabulous.
fabulous to
Dude,
failure.
how long we been working together and you still don't know the name of my book?
See, I'm trying to highlight the book.
Okay,
the name
it's
of it.
Fabulous.
Fabulous.
From failure to fabulous.
See, there you go.
From failure to fabulous. But
And it's
I ain't
about
gonna
your
change it.
story.
It's about my story, which I'm gonna make a segue back to his story. Okay.
segue.
But you can get her book at Amazon.
That's right. You can get my book at Amazon, or you can go to Donnie Jones Live, which is DONI, Jones, JONES, live at gmail.com or DonnieJonesLive.com.
Right. And when you writing your book, sir?
That's right. And when's your next speaking engagement, sir?
I don't know, Donnie. Maybe I need another inspirational speech from you. I'll call you. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
But you're the inspirational guy.
You know, I just try to. I try to stay in my lane.
Yeah.
And I'm really looking to, like I say,
I know.
pray to God, show me what you would have me do. Again, I
He
try
might
to be
tapping you on your shoulder.
true.
I'm just saying.
Just try to be as honest and as transparent as I possibly can.
Right.
You know, again, it's something that I think I do with little to no effort because it's
Right.
something that I genuinely
Right.
feel and want to do.
Right.
You know. So,
But you said something earlier, a couple segments ago, that for some people, for people to become happy, do what makes you, to become successful, do what brings you joy, what makes you happy.
Right.
And I think looking at what you're doing, obviously you're good at your job and
Mm-hmm.
you're successful in your job, but there's always that next level that you want to do. I kind of want you to speak to that in the last couple of minutes, because somebody might look at that and go, well, yeah, but he has a career that maybe is not his most favorite, but he's successful at it. But is he doing what makes him happy? What would you say? Are you happy doing what you're doing, or is it still part of you on that journey?
it's a big part of me still on that journey.
Mm-hmm.
I wake up and I go to sleep thinking about it, but in the interim, I have to be a man and take care of my responsibilities, along with still being ambitious enough to go, okay, I still have these aspirations.
Right.
So and that's kind of where
That's what I wanted you to say. Because what I don't want somebody to hear is like, it's okay to sit on the couch and wait for whatever makes you happy to
wait for
come.
it.
You are handling your business and taking care of your family as
Absolutely.
you pursue
Right.
that thing that makes you happy. What are some parting thoughts? And then we'll start to wrap things up.
Thank you for having me on. And again, I mean, I'm talking and you've been an inspiration to me because you went after what you love to do. I mean, we talked about this.
Yeah,
you
we
doing
did.
this right here.
Yeah.
When it wasn't even a plan or thought. It was a thought, but there was no structure to it.
Yeah.
But you stated what you wanted to do, and you were honest with yourself, saying, "This is what I love doing. I love my business. I don't want to sell my business."
I remember saying that to
You know. And
And
now,
it was that man right there
Really?
that actually put structure up on it. We met at this little station.
awesome.
And so I got to thank you for that, Marty.
Not
Can't
a
even
problem.
get into that right now.
That's
going to be next week.
It's meant for that,
I
right?
want to
Right.
thank you. Sir. And I want to thank you for coming on the show.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Not a problem, man. You got to come back too.
Yeah,
Especially when you
definitely
pushing
come
your book
back.
and everything.
Yes, push your book, your speaking engagements, all of that.
They have my product next time. Have something, huh?
Y'all, this is Donnie Jones Live. I'm Donnie the Tree Lady.
And I'm Marty McFly. We'll talk to you next time.
Yeah.